welcome back. With us right now is the president of a town council you may not have heard much about. Please welcome to our show Jim Walker from the Lakes Town Council, and with him is Chuck Kevwitch, who is the vice president. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Wendy. It's quite an honor to be here.
Well, thank you. There is so much going on in the lakes and valleys, and for people who don't know, we should let them know that includes Lake Hughes,
That's correct.
Lake Elizabeth, Green Valley. Does that include Leona Valley?
Actually, it does not include Green Valley. Lakes community is exclusively the Lake Hughes and Elizabeth Lake.
You know, when I say Green Valley, I would kind of think of it as a community of the lakes and valleys, but you're right. It's just
in terms of our town council district, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But we all have so many similar issues.
Yes, we do.
And there's a lot coming up in our community that is expanding way past just our region, but having to deal with the power lines and things like that. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's first talk about, on February 6th, there is an upcoming affair that you guys are in charge of. Go ahead, Jim, tell me about it.
Show some enthusiastic about this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chuck says sell.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in the beginning of the year, in 2009, we wanted to do something to recognize special citizens of our community, because they are the cornerstone of any community to make things happen. So we established an award that has come to be known as the Outstanding Citizen Award. And each month we recognized a specific citizen for a particular thing that they have done for the community that has lasting impact and will remain with the community and that impact for probably some years to come. Now, they were not considered citizens of the month. These are people who will have outstanding citizenship and will be recognized in perpetuity as far as our council is concerned. And so this, on February the 6th, at the Giannini's Bistro and Grill in Lancaster, we're going to be honoring these 13 individuals. And in fact, the Giannini's are actually one of the honorees. Nick and Sharon are the honorees because they owned a restaurant up there at one time called the Greenside Grill, and they did a lot to bring our community together in terms of our Cheers watering hole, if you will.
Yeah, well, it really was. And even to this day, now that they're no longer there, they have moved to Lancaster. I oftentimes go down there and still see so many people from the lakes that go and visit the Giannini's for their, all of the friendships that we've made. But so on February 6th, starting at what time?
It's at 7 o'clock, and February 6th is a Saturday.
And how much does it cost? Because you go ahead, throw it out there, Chuck.
Yeah. By the way, I do have tickets right here.
Okay.
Right there. It's $25 a ticket.
Okay. Very good.
And the Giannini's have
That's really reasonable for an evening out, too, if you think about it.
And it is. I mean, if you'll spend more than that on a date. But they have a wide range of a menu. It's not a preset menu. You get to order off of their menu, and what better way to get to know more about your neighbor that lives up there? Okay,
let's talk about up there, because people really don't know it. I think the Antelope Valley, Palm de Lancaster, are not really familiar with Lake Hughes and Lake Elizabeth, and we have some serious issues. And right now, I think front and center are the power lines that threaten gorgeous landscape, and it just kills me to see. And I don't know about you, but when I drive through Leona Valley and I see that big long line of towers, and even on Avenue K going into town, the big ugly stretch, and it's ugly, and I'm so offended that nothing was done to preserve the landscape at all. No consideration. So that's my anger showing. But now they're threatening to do even more, not with necessarily Edison, but now PWD.
Yes, the Department of Water and Power, in compliance with the requirement to increase renewable energy by 20%, I wish, 20%, they are working on what's called the Barren Ridge Renewable Energy Project. And this would involve putting a significant footprint right through our community of major power lines, tall, wide, and the likelihood is that they want to expand those because in future years they have to expand the amount of renewable energy, and so that means they're going to want to take the easiest route, and they're going to want to put those additional power lines right next to the ones that they're planning on building. Our community had attended a number of scoping meetings and addressed its concerns, because one of the biggest things about the Lakes community is that we want to preserve our open space and the rural integrity of our community, and this will completely change the environment. It will completely change the viewscape. It'll change the landscape. It'll probably change wildlife corridors. It has a tremendous impact, and so I don't know, Chuck might want to comment more on it, but it's something that we have proposed alternatives. We propose that the route be changed, be moved to approximately about 15 to 20 miles due west of...
closer to I-5?
Closer to I-5.
Do we worry, though, about, Chuck, as far as Fort Tejon? Do they weigh in on it and say we're going to build this huge community and it's going to be right in their little world?
I think no matter where you're going to put it, there's going to be some static.
Yeah.
Yes. And the sad thing about it, they're running it down, and nobody up here is going to benefit from the power. It's all going to L.A. So why ruin, I'm sorry, a beautiful scenic area, why we all moved up to the lakes?
And they're having to put it right by the community. Why? I mean, it seems to me, why wouldn't you put it out of the eyesight of a small community, right next to it?
That was one of the suggestions, you know, a couple of them, running down I-5, running along the forestry corridor, but no, they decided they want to go right through our town. Right through our town.
And then that's where we have a lot in common with Green Valley in terms of challenging this action, because Green Valley is also major impacted. But the Department of Water and Power has, they've to this point, in our opinion, as a community in the Lakestown Council, we think that they've pretty much ignored us. In fact, we went to one of their follow-up meetings following the scoping meeting, and they had removed what's called alternate route D. That's the alternate route that I referred to, about 17 miles
and that would have been
west. And that was our preference. They had just removed it. It wasn't on the map, so we all show up to look at these maps, and it's gone.
So now it's no longer a consideration.
Well, it's back on there.
Okay.
Because
well, is that just like giving you a bone? No offense. I mean,
no, it could be. It could clearly.
How often do we feel that when we go to these meetings that the decisions have been made and we're just really blowing hot air and they're waiting for us to go away, disappear, and make their vote?
You should hear the community. They sing the same song.
Well, Wendy,
like it's already done, a done deal.
Yeah.
Well, is there any way to fight it? Is there another route to take? Is there a lawsuit that could be pending?
Other than writing letters, standing up and supporting what we really believe in, you know, writing our letters to Michael Antonovich's office, our Audra Strickland, which is
Well, you were talking earlier about Edison and that there was a possible lawsuit by the county to Edison because of their corridor.
Yes.
And now you recently found out that they've 7-0 voted to drop the lawsuit because of...
Yeah, I just came back from an extended vacation, and upon return I was informed, had read a letter, and the letter was I guess you would refer to it as a mitigation letter sent to the County Board of Supervisors in terms of what Southern California Edison was going to do to mitigate the circumstances in terms of its impact on its energy renewal lines. The county had previously, and I believe through the advocacy of Supervisor Antonovich, had authorized the legal department of the county to look into, not file, but look into a lawsuit. But upon my return, I read the letter from the Edison, and I then I looked at the documents from the county, and it appears on January, I believe it was January, middle of January, the county voted unanimously to withdraw further consideration of that lawsuit.
Right.
So that was, you know, we're going to, I don't, unfortunately, I literally got off a plane last night on Delta Airlines at 2 a.m., so I haven't had a chance to look into it. But there's another organization called RED. It was formed, it's called Responsible Energy Development, and it was formed, it was headed up by a lady by the name of Alice Wallman out of Leona Valley, and might be someone you want to talk to on a future in your show, because they have become a very strong advocate for our local area. So they're a private organization.
I am so offended by the way Edison and the way that it went through the desert. I mean, even the development for Lancaster in Palmdale and future development, I think, is destroyed. I see it as just such a huge, ugly thing. And to think that they're going to do it again, and right so close. Why does it have to be right on top of each other? Okay, well, I'm done singing this tune right now because we're all out of time, and you need to come back, gentlemen, and talk more. But let's remind people, February 6th is going to be the banquet. It will be at the Giannini's, which is on Lancaster Boulevard, right next to Burns Pharmacy, for those who don't know.
That's right.
What time does it start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And we do have, it will include, Norm Hickling will be representing the supervisor's office. We will be having, we have entertainment.
What's our entertainment?
We have a humorist. We're going to have kind of semi-roast the awardees, and we will also be presenting special awards. Each one of the honorees will receive a scroll from the county, and they'll also receive a plaque and a little individual award. So we're really doing this up right.
I'm looking forward to it.
May I mention one thing real quick? The Lakes Community Center is celebrating their 75th anniversary, and it's undergoing a revitalization right now, and it's looking for donations.
Okay.
Because we're just a small community,
bad community.
So we're looking for donations.
How about we have you come back and we talk more about it, because there's a lot to say on that issue.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be
Sounds
great.
good.
for having us.
All right. Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. All right. When we come back.